Okay, this is Ginger Creek. Okay,
Ginger Creek?
Start again, John.
Ginger Creek. All right, Ginger Creek show. Here we go. Try again. And take two.
Hi, you guys. This is Ginger Cook, and it's Acrylic Painting Monday. And guess what? We're doing a premiere.
I love premieres.
We love premieres because we can show you more stuff in a premiere because we film it ahead of time. We still do the live chat, and most of the time, probably 99% of the time, John and I are in the live chat talking with you. We'll talk more about that later. We're going to be painting a square painting of these lemons with these beautiful green leaves. Now, the reason this works is because yellow is opposite purple on the color wheel, and so purple is the complement of yellow. That's what complement means. Now, if you did a half and half with all, half yellow, half purple, it wouldn't be as dynamic as if it's mostly purple with rose tones and a little bit of orange, and then you've got your, your green leaves, and then the yellow just really, it's like beautiful music on a piano. Okay,
a symphony of
it's really wonderful, and you can see where like there's a little blue in these leaves and a little bit of orange and so forth. There's some orange in the lemon, there's some shading here on this lemon, there's some purple shadows here on the lemon. Really beautiful colors of light purple. There's purple up in the background, and then what you're seeing here is what we call a companion piece. We don't do a tutorial for that, but that's available on our website for our purple and red members. And the advantage of doing a companion piece is that A, they can go together very nicely as when you hang them, and B is that you've learned step by step how to do this. What can you do on your own? And if you do it right away, you want to talk about, everybody says to me, Ginger, I can watch your tutorials all day long. I try to do something by myself. I don't know what to do. You want to speed up the learning process, become a red or purple member, and get a companion piece to go with our tutorials, and on Mondays and even in some of our Academy videos, and see how much you improve painting. I can't believe the improvement we've been seeing in our artists since we started this about a year ago, adding companion pieces. Now,
phenomenal.
I'm doing a little 8x8 canvas, and I'm going to talk to you about that, but I want to just have the camera look up at me for a minute and just welcome you all to the channel. Like I say, we're going to be doing live chat. I will be typing. I type terribly. I'll be doing all caps. I don't spell well. Just, you can't really edit it very easily on live chat. It's just either I leave it up or I take it down. So bear with me. If you have a question, put it in all caps. Either our moderators at Hey Moderators, for those of you who could come, or John or I will answer it. Sometimes the chat gets ahead of us, but if we will keep the chat to art topics, remember, we're sort of co-creating this videos. These are all tutorials, and by your asking questions, other people, we leave the chat up. A lot of YouTubers do not leave the chat up, but we leave the chat up. People like to read it, want to know what you asked, what you thought. And not only that, but this is a good way to make friends, because you join us week after week and you participate in the live chat. You get to know everybody, friend them on Facebook, that kind of thing, and join our acrylic painting club, which is free on Facebook. And you suddenly found yourself, I don't care if you live alone on a rock somewhere, if you have internet, you've got friends now. And this is a wonderful way to make friends and interact with people that share your love of painting and your hobby or your profession, whatever it is. So let's go ahead and start the painting, but I want to again thank you for coming. Let's hit that like button if you haven't already, and I'm sure if you haven't subscribed, if you like what we do, subscribe and share to your friends, and hey, let's get going.
And we're back.
All right, now this is what we use as a traceable. I know my daughter Cinnamon always went to the trouble of doing line drawings. I'm against that because I don't need the same lines you do, okay? And you may need less lines than somebody else. And so if you print, you notice that the print is just a very faded version of this, okay? And what you do is, this is some Sorel transfer paper. Okay, and we've written up on the right side so you get it, and we're going to put it in here. The canvas is cad red medium, burnt sienna, and white. That's that sort of rose color. Okay.
Kind of a soft rosy.
Kind of a soft rose, but you could even do a light purple. It would look nice too. It just happened to have this color. I thought it would work. Maybe if I was going to start from scratch, I might do light purple. You just don't know, right? Could have done that, right? Could have done. Now, I'm going to take a pen. I like a colored pen, so I can see where I have been. And so there's a couple of things here. We're just going to go down here like this, and then let's just see if the transfer paper worked. Yes, it did. Okay. So I'm going to put my lemons in. Whoops. Okay, like that. And I go over, I kind of go back and forth. I don't just draw a line. I go back and forth over a little bit like that. Okay. And so every few quarter of an inch or so, I'm going back and forth over the line so that it's really on there. And sometimes this is a canvas board, and sometimes if you have you're using a stretched canvas, you might have to put a little bit of backing behind it or tighten it up a little bit. By spraying the back of the canvas with water. That's a trick you can do. Okay, there's a leaf here. Here's a leaf here. I'm not going to put the stem in. I think I can put this leaf in fairly successfully. I feel like I will add these leaves later. I can kind of guess where they go. This is pretty basic what we've got going here, okay? So there's not too much. There's our shadow. And let's see, there's our part of our lemon that's going to have a shadow underneath it like that. And really, honestly, that's all there is to this, tracing this on. It's very simple. Shouldn't take you any time at all to do it. What's back here? Yeah, pretty much that's it, you guys. Okay, so
So again, if you were a person like me, I'd want more detail in there. And that's why we offer you the full image. You pick how much you want to trace on there.
Exactly so, John. Exactly so. So let's put our transfer paper away. And you can use it over and over again, okay? So I'm going to put the companion piece, so we're just focusing on that. Now, let me just talk a minute about my palette.
Your legacy palette.
My legacy palette. What's a legacy palette? A legacy palette is, we use the Stay Wet, Masterson Stay Wet palettes. They don't pay us to tell you about them. We just tell you about things we like. We hate stuff, we can tell you because no one's paying us. No one's paying us to do this. This channel exists because of your contributions to our scholarship fund. And we'll tell you about that later, but that's why it does, and we appreciate that very much. So here's what I call it. This is what we call a legacy palette. This is Masterson's. It's in our store on Amazon. Again, the store is just for your convenience. Amazon maybe gives us 5 cents or something if you buy it. So, but we appreciate it. I mean, like groceries, I suppose that adds up too. If we, it all helps. But basically, this is a palette that I have used before because these are colors that I use over and over again. So I've got a little bit of purple in that white. So what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you how you you manage a legacy palette. So I might just scrape that part up, okay? And I'll put out some new white, all right? I'm just going to scrape that off. I'm pretty happy with these colors here. This is buff titanium. I'll just scrape that up here. I don't think I need it, but maybe I'll use it. So, all right, so zinc white, buff titanium, titanium white, cad yellow light, cad yellow medium, yellow ochre, raw sienna, magenta. This is cadmium orange. This is naphthol crimson or pyro red, whatever you happen to have. This is black. This is burnt sienna. This color is one you're not going to be using. It's on the palette, so we won't even talk about it. It's a kind of a maroon color. Actually,
ignore it.
We're just going to ignore it. That's what a legacy palette does. You don't have to use all the colors. This is Dazzling Purple, which we're definitely going to be using. This is ultramarine blue, phthalo blue, and phthalo green. So those are the colors we're going to be using, all right? And
And what were the reds at the top there again?
what's that?
The reds at the top?
Those were either naphthol crimson or pyro red.
Okay, and you have magenta below that.
And we have magenta below that,
All
and
right.
this is the orange, okay?
All right. I'm ready.
If you didn't have the orange, yellow and red make orange, all right?
Yes, it does.
It
I
does.
learned that in first grade.
Yeah, so you did that. Now, we've got to, now don't get lazy on me. I'm not trying to insult you, but some of you do, okay? And if you want yellow, you have to paint white first, and maybe 2 coats of white for that lemon, those lemons to show up. So I'm going to use just a small little brush like this. This is a 3/8 inch angle by Bristol On. Again, they don't pay me. In fact, if I could find another brush that I liked as well, I wouldn't use this company at all for personal reasons, but I don't. So I still use them because I prefer these brushes. And oh yes, I'm going to add some more white paint to that because
You took it off because it was
because
dirty.
we took it off because it was a little dirty, and sometimes you have to just clean up your white paint. You know, that something,
happens.
even a legacy palette, you need to do that. All right, so let's just take some white here and
Dry brush.
dry brush, no water on it. Otherwise, that would thin the paint down too much. This is in a watercolor with acrylics, okay? So just kind of smooth that out like that. And then let's do this one and this little lemon. Now, in order to keep the shape of both of them, here's a little trick. Instead of rinsing your brush, what you do is you just put a little paper towel there like that, and then I'll take a little bit of buff titanium like this. And this is the shadow side of my lemon. See that? So that even though they're touching and so forth, we have it like that. There you go. So there's our lemon. I could even put that down here too, because that's the shadow side of the lemon. Okay. And I think I'm going to just take some yellow now, just some cad yellow light, okay? And I'm just going to paint the leaves in here like that. It shows up pretty nice, this cad yellow light on here, but we're still going to do it. We're going to go ahead and put these leaves in. There's just certain ones that we know we're going to want here like that. And we'll just put that in there like that. Got a little bit of green in there, but not a problem, okay? So those are some main leaves that we want, right, like that. We'll color some more in there, but that's just a place setting for these guys, all right? So that's all we're doing. Now, in order not to mess this up, let's just take a moment and dry it. Hi, you guys, Ginger Cook here, and these are the paintings that will be drawn for our fourth quarter. Yeah, wow, the days are going by fast, and so did this year. For our scholarship fund, for those of you who have been contributing at least $25 over the last 3 months, either on YouTube or in our academy, have a ticket in the fishbowl for drawing to win one of these original paintings. And I just love these penguins. That was a painting Christmas painting we did last year for you. The frames we found on Amazon, they were very reasonable, and Jerry's Autorama, these wooden ones. So just in case anybody asks us, the frames of course aren't with the paintings, but I think you're going to love the penguins and these cattails. This is one of my favorite tutorials we've ever done on YouTube. I really debated hard whether to put this in there, but we so appreciate your donations. That's what keeps the channel going and allows us to scholarship artists in our acrylic painting with Ginger Cook Scholarship Fund, where they can get personal art coaching and help somebody become an artist. So there's these cattails. You would probably remember this tutorial this year of the Mediterranean window. John, can you zoom in? Look at the texture on this. Can you see all the texture on the flowers? This is such a cool painting. I think you would really love to be able to see all the blending and layers and everything in this. There's the TV cannot show, or the computer can't show you how marvelous these colors are. Everyone that's ever gotten an original painting from me, of course these come with certificates of authenticity, always has said that the colors are so much more magnificent than what we can even show you here, even though they have been varnished. This was a painting that I did for the Academy, and it's called Michigan House, and it's in the style of Thomas Kincaid. And again, this is one of my favorites. I think that you might really, really love it. And if I just turn this like this for a minute, I'm going to show you. We decided to do the reindeer, and we thought that some of you might enjoy that as a Christmas decoration, and this will be shipped to you in time for Christmas, or because they're going out. I don't know when, John, but first week of December, so we're going to get these to you. And I don't know, this was a YouTube painting. If you haven't seen this YouTube video, we did it on YouTube. I think did we do it on YouTube or in the Academy? I think we did. So anyway, there's somewhere, right? And then finally, let me just show you I'm just going to pop it on top. Here's our the kids on a log, on a farm, and I think that's really. I think this is charming and sweet, and maybe brings back some memories that you have. And anyway, these will be just some of the paintings. Depending on the donations that come in, there'll be a few surprises. And so again, we thank you very much for that. And I must look up here, John, and say that your contributions are so appreciated. They keep the channel going, and also they allow artists to continue with their art education, and that from all over the world. I'm talking globally, and it makes such a difference, and you're part of that. So thank you very much, and we love you guys, and happy holidays. And what most of you then don't do, and what we're going to do, and you're going to do from now on, because I told you, right? Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to take I wipe the brush off really well so there's no water on it. I'm going to take the white paint again and give it another coat of white, okay? Because once the white just sort of disappeared into the canvas, and I want my lemons to be very bright so that they've just disappeared. Here's the white. See the difference when you do two coats? We'll paint over those leaves, so I'm not so concerned about it, but here's a little bit of buff titanium in here, and look at the difference when you give two coats of paint to something. Sometimes, and if you're using student coats, student grade, I would suggest at least you buy the professional white, either from Heavy Body from Liquitex or from Golden, and get in the habit of doing several coats. We have found that you don't save a lot of money buying some of these student grade paints, simply for the reason that
It takes more coats.
it takes more coats, so by the time you do that, you might as well not have done it, right? Does that make sense? All right, so I'm going to take some ultramarine blue, and I'm going to put a little bit of that there, like that. There's some ultramarine blue and a tiny bit of zinc white. That's your transparent white, okay? I'm going to just make a little pile of that, make it kind of darker like that, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to paint in this. I know, but ginger is purple. Well, this is the color underneath. This is the blue color underneath this picture. This is the blue that's underneath here before we put the purple. Huh? There's blue before you put the purple? Yep. Yippers. Now, let's see where else we can put this blue. Well, we've got some of this blue right here. Okay, and we've got, I think we're going to do, we're going to add some white to that and a little phthalo blue. Just put that right like that. And I'm going to do the rest of this kind of phthalo blue This is my first coat of paint. I'm going to do here. I'm going to get a little bit more white with that. This is a simple painting, but what makes it a little more complicated than you'd guess is that it's got a lot of colors in it, okay? So we want to facilitate the painting of this by doing that, okay? All right, like that. Now let's go into some white and magenta and a little blue, little ultramarine blue. Okay, white, magenta, and ultramarine blue, see that? And we're going to do this sort of this mauve color. Again, first layer. Over here like that. Okay, so that's the first coat of that. Now, up here in the background, you're talking about some this is sort of in the blue-greens colors, in the mauves, but this is all in the dark blues, all right? You see there's this and this, right? So I'm in the mauves already, so I'm going to go ahead and just paint the magenta color in here, like that. I'm just going to go ahead and paint this magenta. This, let's go start off with that. And maybe I'll take a little bit of blue to that and just maybe make this a little bit bluer on this side. Okay, so that's this color right here, kind of this blue-purple thing with some magenta showing, okay? It's got that as an underpainting. All right, you're with me on that, right? That's what that goes there. Now we'll retire that brush for a minute. And we're going to take some ultramarine blue now. I don't have enough out, so I'm going to, my legacy palette, I'm just going to add some more ultramarine blue to that. Don't you love it? So then, the reason you're doing this too is that this palette is good for days and weeks, right? So as long as you have prepared it properly and keep the lid closed, so that people want to save money on painting, that's the way to do it. So let's take some ultramarine blue and a tiny bit of dazzling purple, and come up here like this. And it's not totally a straight line, it's just sort of curves like that. We're going to do this like this. And then we're going to do that over here, a little bit more blue in it with this underpainting color. A little bit of purple. And you don't make this perfectly straight, it's kind of raggedy. Is that a good word, raggedy? Sometimes I like to just, if I have to, paint around something, it might be easier to do it this way. Get in the habit of turning your painting around. Okay. So that's pretty easy, yes, yes, and yes. And I want a smaller brush because I'll get that other one out that I retired for a minute, but I have to really clean it because it had light on it. And it's the other thing, once you have light paint on a brush, you can't go dark without a totally clean. So I'm going to come under here and say that this is, so that's dry. This is a shadow that's coming under here like that. I'm going to wipe off I'll make sure I don't have any water on that brush. And it's ultramarine blue and purple. And there's some of that shadow up here on the leaf, right up here, a little bit more blue. And there's this is something dark right in here like that. You see that? So I needed a little brush for that. And then right under here, and the shape of the shadow matters. It kind of, it's coming right under this lemon like that to a point. Goes right this way. It's got a little more purple in it. Okay. And then there's a little bit of this purple that's kind of coming up here like this. Like that, okay? And then I'm going to take a little black. Okay, you with me? I'm going to come up here like this and just
This is straight Mars black?
just straight Mars black and
Just
put some
kind of
black in
splotching
here.
Yeah.
I think I'll put some blue with it. Mars black and blue, I think.
Then you're making a Payne's
It's
gray.
a little bit, yeah, make a little Payne's gray color, but not with the, well, sort of Payne's gray because the
Kind of, but not.
the Mars is flat and the blue is shiny, so I want to kind of get that color here going. Okay. Now in this part here, that's still wet. Let's dry everything and then we'll finish the background. And maybe we'll have to do a second coat. We don't know. Let's see, there's something dark right here. Right like that. Oh, and here under this, but by this leaf here, there's something dark. Right here too. Wow, look at that. So you betcha we're really hitting home on that. So this is a very simple painting, but you've got to layer. I'd say that's the main thing. So let's try this again. All right. So the next color we want to use is kind of clean the brush because we've had all that dark color on it. I put a terry cloth towel underneath my water bucket so that I can wipe my brush off on that when I take it out. All right, so I want phthalo blue and phthalo green, and I need to mix it on something, so I'm gonna put it together like this, and I want some buff titanium or some zinc white. Okay, you see that? And I need a little more blue with that.
Kind of
okay,
color.
Kind of pretty color, and I need it lighter. So I'm going to use all that up. There you go. So I need it sort of lighter. I'm putting a little purple with it. Not much. There we go. That's kind of nice. Let's try some titanium white because that's not light enough. Aha, there we go. Took a while, but that's the color. Can you see? You see this color right here? That's the color. I think it could have a little more white.
Yeah, I can see it looks like it's still a little dark.
A little more white. Okay. That's my color. So I'm going to just bring our paper towel back. And I want to wipe the brush. I've used it to mix. So I'm going to wipe the brush off, right? And then I'm going to turn this painting sideways. I want you to understand what I'm doing. And I'm going to put I'm going to put this right like this so you can see where I'm painting. I'm just going to take the brush, tap it off a little bit. And I'm going to just tap it down like this. A little bit of ultramarine blue in that. Kind of vary that color a bit. And then I'll take some phthalo green and make a very dark green. Just adding to that mixture right like this. Okay. Put this a little darker. Put a little bit of yellow in that. Oh, okay. All right. Okay, so that's that pattern. Kind of fun to do. Now rinse the brush. Wipe it off. See how much green I've got on there? So rinse it again. I want to take some white and magenta. Test this off, and I want to give this it's a little bit brighter in here like that. Then I want to take some ultramarine blue with that and make this kind of mauve purple color. Leaving just a little bit of that peeking through. There. Okay. All right, so we're turning it back over. I don't want the white in there, though. That's the one thing I don't want, is a little bit of white. So let's just, okay. A little bit of magenta. I think when you get the magenta, you got to make sure there's no white on your brush so you can really get this. So there you go. So I've got that bright, pretty blue and that green color coming down. Now let's take some titanium white and make that nice, really nice magenta blue color. So it's ultramarine blue and magenta and white. You get that pretty purple. Okay, and then we're going to come over here like this and just leave a little bit of that blue showing just on the edge. And because this is the second coat, it goes in really well, okay? It's amazing how well this goes in because it's the second coat. Now I want to make sure I get this over. I'm going to put a little bit of Dazzling purple in that, a little bit more Dazzling, and a little bit of magenta. Make this a little darker. Okay, more magenta. Okay, let's see that about that color. Yeah. So this color goes. Let's put a tiny bit of white in that. This color goes in here, and it's smooth. Okay. Might leave a little bit of that blue showing. Okay, now now we'll take a lot of white and make a very light one and put some phthalo blue in it. There, we want this phthalo that makes a difference. Put that phthalo blue color in there. Now, you see how we've got a totally different color here for this. You see that? Except it needs more white. You really have to mix it well. Add a little bit more magenta. I'll change it again. So I want some of that color over here, like this. So nothing is ever just one color, yes? But look at all these beautiful tones we have in this. All right. And I'm pretty happy with the magenta here. It could be a bit brighter, so one thing I'm going to do when that dries, I might glaze it back a bit with the magenta, just to see. But that's what we've got right now going. Okay. So let's dry all that. You guys, weren't you surprised at how well that's working?
Coming together.
Okay. So let's take a Posca pen and shake it. We'll draw on the stems and leaves. Okay. All right, so I know I want it to be right about here, and I'm going to cut there, and it's got to end up here. You could retrace your leaves on if you're not sure about doing something like this. Something like that. Bring this out just a bit more like that. Okay. And we've got one coming through here. We have a stem coming through here too, like that. Okay, so now we know where our leaves go. Yeah. So let's just take a clean brush, the one we haven't been painting with this whole time, and paint our same brush, just clean one, and paint our lemons. So we're going to start with the cad yellow light, and we're going to just, whoops, I had some color in that. All right, let me put out. I need that for the green, so I'm going to go ahead and put some more of that out somewhere else. That doesn't need the green. You might have to have that in two places. Hi, John, I cleaned up. Now I don't see it, but I know I had it. Yellow medium, it's got to be cad yellow light.
What are you looking for?
I just need cad yellow light, so I just needed some more. I just didn't have cad yellow light out. And I've cleaned up so well I can't figure out where I put the other tube. Thought I had everything out. I don't have it actually. Do we have any cad yellow light somewhere?
Oh, I have to check the vast resources. Did you use it all?
I don't know.
Or
Oh, here it is. Well, I'm going to use this. Right, here we go. Here we
I
go.
was here to help.
Okay, there it is. Okay. So, all right. So let's start again. sure that we're starting with a clean brush and clean paint. There we go. Now that beautiful coat of lemon color works because it's going over white. And it's kind of got some texture to it too. It's really pretty.
And that's why it looks so nice and bright.
And I'm going to put a little bit of white with that yellow. Make this next one a little bit lighter. This one's a little bit brighter and lighter. Okay, so we're going to dry that. Make sure I've got it kind of smoothed out a little bit. Then we're going to start adding colors to it. Okay?
You know, sometimes you just need to step away from the easel, take off the apron, well, mostly take it off and let the sea breeze untangle your thoughts. I've been painting with the Ginger Cook Academy, and let me tell you, it's been a journey. One moment I'm learning how to capture light on water, and the next I'm knee-deep in cookies. Those lesson levels, not the snack. Although both are addictive. This little buddy, my teddy bear, he listens while I mumble about values and vanishing points. But you know what? Ginger really gets it. She makes painting feel personal, like she's right there cheering you on. Brush in one hand, cookie in the other. So today, I'm just letting it all soak in. The lessons, the laughter, the little wins when a painting finally works. If you're part of the Academy, you know the magic I'm talking about. And if you're not, well, maybe it's time you grabbed your teddy bear and joined us.
All right, so remember we needed some white and cad yellow light, and we need something lighter up here like that. So it's a little bit lighter up on here like this part. Okay, and it's a little bit lighter right here. It's actually white. We've got some white here. There's some white coming up on this one. Up here like that. And then this has a little bit of white too. And then we've got, let's put the paper towel back. We've got some yellow ochre and orange. Kind of combination of those two colors together. Mix that in with that, like that. Then come up here like this and say, put that color in right here, like this. A little something a little bit lighter there. I'll put a little water on my brush so that just sort of it's a little smoother. A little bit more orange. And I'm going to take some cad yellow medium, just kind of brighter, add to that. And let's put a little bit on this side, down here, like that, underneath. A little bit of white, like sort of a peach color. Put a little bit of that color up here. All right, and there's a little bit of that color right there, like that. And then some burnt sienna and white. And that's really just burnt sienna and white. It's just sort of this shadow color back here on it. Just goes back. Let's take a little buff titanium with that. Mm, don't need much, just this one little section of the lemon right here. Okay. Then I've got some cad yellow like this. I'm gonna add the little nose part of the lemon. Put that here like this too. There's a little shadow here under that. A little bit of, okay, it's a little bit more. This is the point you got enough paint where you can use a little water now. Tint something a little bit like that. Okay, with me? Uh, Purple has to go on there, so let's just kind of let that hang loose here. A little bit of yellow oxide with this toward the end. We've got a little bit of yellow in here like this. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take some of that yellow color and just color in our leaves. It can have a little green in it, I don't mind. I want to make sure that I've covered all the lines. I made it deliberately a little smaller than it would be, so all the lines were covered. Here's a little phthalo green. See how much brighter that is? Take a little bit of water and a little bit of yellow on my brush. I have a yellow green. I'm going to come up here on the stem. This is a bright green leaf here. Put a little more yellow in that one. There's a little dark leaf under here. We'll put a little brown with that. Burnt sienna and green. Make a little darker green leaf. That's the one that's behind here. It's here, but it's behind this one. So you're suggesting it, but it's this one too. This one's behind here like that. Take a little bit. Those are a lot of colors in these leaves, so you have to think about that. Okay, so we're going to kind of leave that alone for a minute. And we've got get the green off of the brush. I want to put some shadow on the shading on there. So here's a little bit of magenta shading on this lemon. Okay, just a little bit like that. Okay, and then we're a little bit more purple on this one, so maybe some purple and um, uh, buff titanium. I'm going to say that there's some purple shadows here on this one. And then there's some dark purple. Make sure that we have the purple going under here like that. All right. Now this is where you can take the purple and reshape a leaf if you're not happy with it, or thin a stem. You got the stem too wide. See how you can come in and sort of just do a little trimming with the another color. As you don't get too excited if you can't quite get the color the first time. All right, because this is it's just dark right here. So wow, I mean, we're really catching it, aren't we? All right. So I'm going to take a small detail brush. This is just a bright brush from the Golden Maple. It's a number 0. I'm going to take a little bit of white and suggest that there's the bit of some yellow, cad yellow medium. That's that part of my lemon. And bring it out just a little bit, okay? I'm going to just bring out some yellow a little bit more. Same with over here. Let's take the light yellow and maybe some white. I've got a little bit of green here, just the tiniest little bit under here, like that. A little bit of green in here too. A little bit darker green, but still it's a green. On here like this. And something dark right here. Just a little corner of this piece was dark. Okay. There's some dark on this side of the leaf. reshape some of those and make this a little bit brighter. So I'm out of phthalo blue, so that's all right. We will put some more back on our legacy palette. That's what we do. Our phthalo green, rather. Sometimes you can use a legacy palette 2 or 3 times, sometimes 4 times, sometimes just a couple. You ought to be able to use it at least twice. You're wasting a lot less paint. But, okay. Make that one a little bit longer as we play with our greens a little bit. I think it's ever just one color, so maybe just put a little yellow in this one. I think I have to have a more of a pointed brush for detail. So I'll just do one like this with a, now here we go. I'm going to do something very bright. And then we've got some green, a green leaf that does this. And crosses the lemon, in front of the lemon. And that works because now you've put the lemon more in the painting by doing that. Just put a little white with it. Yeah, I need to make that stem thinner. See how you can just thin anything with another color. It's really kind of nice. You can use a little brush like this to kind of tighten up what you've painted. I think I want some white with phthalo green. Got too much dark paint on that brush, so I can't get a light color because I've got too much dark paint on it. Let's start with a clean one. I want something light up here, like that on that leaf. We don't, you know, when we're talking about doing stuff like this, we're very serious about our colors and what goes where. This makes a difference because of, like, we have a little purple there, okay? And there's a little purple right here.
Really come together nicely, though, isn't it?
But it does, right? And
Just the way those colors are laid in there, that's what makes it work.
yeah, so you have to, I mean, it's just, you know, it's a little fiddly, but honestly, um, and that shape, see, you've got to watch the shapes here. Remember I talked about that, watching the shapes. So I put a little bit of orange with that burnt sienna, and I've got, this is the shape I've got. I kind of lost it a little bit with the, when I put the, that purple in, and that purple didn't go there anyway. Okay, I was wrong about that. And I put it in without drying it? Yeah, maybe. All right, so maybe just a tiny bit of that purple right there. All right, so that's these colors are so, I know that sounds like I'm being picky, but these colors really make a difference. When you look at this and you sit there and say, what kind of makes a painting stand out, or what makes it different? It's stuff like this. There's a little bit of orange up in here. See, on top of this, and just right there. Right, there wasn't much of that. A little kind of orange and white, kind of as a tangerine color. We're just suggesting a little bit in here. Not much. Okay. Maybe put a little bit on the lemon. But I would say that I move this palette out of the way. That's pretty much how I intended this to be. When you're talking about, you know, white, kind of, we need some more white right here. Okay. But that's pretty much what I intended it to be. And then we've got some little kind of blue shadows going around here. And I want some light blue and white, kind of some ultramarine blue and white, right? I want a little bit of that color on that leaf. Just, you can see how, look at that, isn't that neat? I mean, we're not, you know, forging money or anything and counterfeiting money, but I think we're getting the general gist of how that something like this works. Yes?
I would think so.
And that's how you paint it. Now, while John's getting the frame, I'm going to dry this and glaze this. I'll show you a trick.
Ah, bonjour, mes amis. It is I, Vincent van Gogh. Yes, that Vincent. You may have heard of my little painting. Starry Night, it's okay. I have better ones. I'm taking a break from painting sunflowers to tell you about something quite extraordinary. Ginger Cook's Acrylic Painting Art Academy. You see, when you join as a red or purple member, you don't just learn from Ginger. Oh, no, no, no. You get to study the brushstrokes of my dearest old friends. Monet, Renoir, Gauguin. Okay, he still owes me a letter. Matisse, Picasso, even those brilliant Americans. Metcalfe, Homer, Rockwell. These are the greats, and Ginger makes their genius fun to learn. And let me tell you a secret. Museums don't let you touch their paintings, but in Ginger's Academy, you get to paint them. You'll see how the masters saw light, shadow, color, even if some of them couldn't find matching socks. So, If you're ready to laugh, learn, and paint your way through art history, join us. Red members get hundreds of full-length tutorials. Purple members, everything, including the wave and water masterclass. Yes, I peeked, and it's brilliant. Don't worry if you're not a genius yet. I wasn't either, until posthumously. Join us. Discover your style by standing on the shoulders of giants, and maybe me, if you're not too tall. Paint boldly, dream wildly, and remember, your masterpiece is just one brushstroke away. Join Red or Purple membership today. Learn from the masters. Paint like one. Join Ginger on her website, paintingwithginger.com.
Here's some satin glazing medium. Put out like a teaspoon. You want a soft brush. Nothing too crazy, just a soft brush. And a little magenta. Now look what that does to that pink. It matches the picture now. You can't get that color any other way. There's even a little shadow on this, right like that. With this. We didn't need much of it, right? But you can see how it... Now it kind of glows a little bit, yes? What would happen if we put some of that over this color right here? I think I'd need more glazing medium with it, but I could just pop this purple up in a couple places by doing that. Got to make sure everything's really dry. Just slightly changes it, just a little bit. Not too drastic, nothing too scary. But, you know, if you're talking about wanting to do colors, that really works. And I want a little more orange here. In this case, it's not a glaze, it's just just another little coat of color. And then I want a little bit of a dark dot right here on the edge of the lemon. And I want to make sure that we have the line going under that like this. So, see, phthalo green and white make it sort of a turquoise color. A really pretty turquoise color. So I'm going to put a touch of that right there. Because orange and turquoise are complementary. Get some ultramarine blue here and put a little bit right there. That was in the picture like this. And I'm going to draw it one more time and just show you the while I do that, while this dries, let me just show you the paintings that will be on our
On the scholarship fund?
Scholarship fund, yeah. Let's just put this aside for now. And every quarter, you've seen from our ad that we ran that we for those of you who donate over the 3-month period at least $25, we have paintings, and we give away we'll give away 4 to 5 paintings, sometimes 7, depending on the amount of donations that come in. But everybody gets a ticket in the fishbowl, and if you gave us $100 and you had 4 tickets, you still would only get to win 1 time. though it does improve your odds. But we've had people with just $25 win all the time. So again, it's a luck thing. But here's one of the paintings that will be the in the drawing, which
Ooh, I
is
like that one.
is our little
Cute little pup.
cute little dog, and that's one of our bite-sized tutorials. This one I really like. Tell you why. You might think, oh, I don't know if I like that so much, Ginger. I don't know if I'd want that. But look, zoom in on that, John.
Zoom in, boss.
And this was a tutorial on how to do rocks with a palette knife and a brush, and how to get the texture on the rocks, and how to really paint rocks. And that's a neat picture. Just maybe you just have it in your studio to just kind of use as a reference. You might really want that. Just really be able to see the greens and the colors up close. See what I did to get that effect. Okay. And again, and this is one of those things, and I'll probably do that before I give it to you. But for instance, like when paint dries, sometimes you can come over with white and do it again. You can go back over really dry it. It's dried now, right? Did this some time ago, but I might want some more white right here. So you see, sometimes you have to touch up a picture. Don't feel bad about wanting to do that. And of course, we will touch that up and just kind of show you that small little things make a difference. Just a few little more touches of white, the painting pops. Okay, so let's move this one out of the way. And this was a bite-sized lesson. It's a free lesson on our acrylic lounge. You can go over there, acryliclounge.com, with Ginger Cook, and paint this. It's a free tutorial just to show you what bite-sized lessons are about. But I think this is really cute, and on the right frame and everything. This is an adorable little picture. I think you might really love it. And then this was a painting I did of some tulips in a book. I was going to make this into a tutorial. I never did, but we have that one. And then finally, we'll probably have a couple more that we'll show you soon. But that's our light up, so to speak, for this quarter. I wanted to show you that. I'm going to dry this, John. Let's get the little square frame out and put it in a frame and sign it.
All righty. Yes, 858. You got a white one, a gray one.
Are you still filming?
Yeah.
Okay, well, John's looking for that. I see something I need to do. I didn't notice this little bit of yellow in here. So it's almost a buff titanium color that's kind of goes in here like this. Just that's part of the picture here. I'm just using a little smudgy brush. And I want to do a little more yellow on this lemon right here. There we go. Just a little bit of orange. Break that purple up. All right, that's good. Wanted to be sure and do that. Dry that. So these are adorable little frames. I want the white one, I think. And we got these on Amazon. They're really inexpensive. Okay. I'll just show you that. Guess John will put it in the frame for you. You'll see how cute this is. They're really cute frame. They're not expensive. And sometimes you get a little painting like this hanging on the wall. Now, you could do this 12 by 12. You don't have to do it 8 by 8. It might even be easier if you did it larger. I promise you that. But it really might be easier. But there you have it.
Framed in all its glory.
Framed in all its glory, right? And, then Ginger gets so picky with stuff. I'm going, well, I did that, right? And let's take a little bit of this yellow-green color and Put that right up here on the tip of that. And no, I won't do too much more. Just sometimes you can have a lot of fun with this, and I'm having a lot of fun with that. There you go, you guys. So I think this is where we sign it. Posca pens are wonderful. We keep them. We found these a few years ago, and they're wonderful. They last forever. You've got to shake them. You've got to kind of you don't pump them, but you kind of push down real hard on well, not hard, but you push down until you get some paint coming out. If you keep the cap on while you're shaking, or you could spatter this all over. Look at how this because you use the glazing medium. Look how that glows, and look at my picture. You see how that's glowing? That's glowing because we use that glazing medium. Those little tricky things that we do. Because I have a white frame, I'm just going to sign it right here, I think, John. Don't you think? Or over here?
No, I'd go to the left. That's the other side. For those that are counting. Hey, I'd like to thank everybody that joined us this evening. Hope we answered all your questions. If you're coming in late and we didn't get to all your questions, do use to contact us on one of the forums or join us in our Facebook group. And the gals will put that link out there to join the Facebook group. Our wonderful moderators, which we wouldn't be able to do what we do without them.
Absolutely. And listen, we want to thank everybody for their contributions tonight. And that you've helped with our scholarship fund, and you have a ticket in the fishbowl. And, you know, this is such fun stuff, right? This is such fun stuff. Here's a little purple. Needed to go there. Then I always put a red slash through my name, like that. And there you go, you guys. You know, 2 lemons, and what a fabulous still life. Now, if you want the traceable, you go to our membership, acrylicpaintingwithgingercook.com. Orange members and above give you the traceable for this. And if you want some help with your painting and you'd like some personal art coaching, become a purple or red member, and we do that. And just putting a little bit of the orange in here like that on these leaves. Let's see. Kind of just occasionally might be a color, what we're doing, not too much. But we're having fun with this. I hope you are too. And we'll see you on the next video. And this is one of the things, let's see how it got a little rough here. I want to put this lemon in front of this. So I'll just go back with a little brush and just do that while we're doing it, right? Why not? We got other lemon paintings too. Some on YouTube and some in our academy. If you like painting lemons, we've got a bunch. So have fun with us, you guys, and thanks for watching. And if you want to come up to me, John, real quick.
We're going to find you.
You've got to find me, okay?
There you are. I found you.
All right, so I want to say good night. Again, thanks our mods for coming, and I hope we answered your questions and had a good time. And share the video, share the joy, share the love, and we love you. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See
Bye.
you next week.
Bye.